I would love your opinion on this, and I'm gonna play a little clip from the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne Tha God chimed in, and he said it's our fault. And what he meant by our fault, he's meaning the rappers from the 1990s who put on this image that they were gangsters when they weren't doing 99% of the stuff that they talked about in their music. I'm gonna play this clip of Charlemagne Tha God saying that, and I would love your comments after that.
Listen, here's the moral of the story. What is it? A lot of this is our fault. Why? And the reason it's our fault is because so many rappers from our generation in the 1900s were lying their ass off. And it made a bunch of kids think the way to get in the game was to be the biggest criminal alive. And guess what? You know, you can't do that. Okay? You can't be the biggest criminal alive and be a rapper at the same time.
What do you think, Lonzo?
He's absolutely correct. He's absolutely correct. Dude, I mean, you know, I have to use my own situation as a reference. I couldn't do what they did because that wasn't me. And I knew that, and the bottom line is I knew it wasn't them. They got away with it though. They got away with it. Okay. It was paying big money. It pays big money. I'm not mad at nobody for what they did, but I'm just saying I'm on the cusp of the era that changed right before shit changed. I'm looking at I'm thinking about some things that I was been talking about with some of my buddies. When right before the 90s and the 80s, shit was crazy. Shit was changing, but it hadn't changed completely. Okay. Gangs and drugs always been around. And when gangs met drugs, that's when you got that's when I call you got the Reese's effect, and you got motherfuckers dipping peanut butter and chocolate. And that shit was it was good to a lot of people. A lot of people went crazy over that shit. And it became the fad as for a lot of people to become gangsters. Just like it was a fad for people to wear Michael Jackson socks and beaded jackets, and it was fad for people to wear the sky shit back in Eve After Dark. It was a fad for niggas. Everybody wanted to be some guys wanted to be a pop locker. Someone wanted to be break dancers. Some chicks wanted to be vanity in the Prince era. Guys, you know, wore the Jerry curls and the it became a part of a fad that everybody didn't have the heart for. Okay. Everybody, no matter how much you love Prince, if you weren't a light-skinned dude, it was hard for you to pull off a Prince lookalike. It wasn't gonna, if you was a tall dude trying to be Prince, it ain't gonna happen, man. Come on, Doc. And in this gangster lifestyle, you got a lot of people that don't have the heart for that, man. They just do it because it's a way to survive. I understand that. And some people looking over your shoulders now, you know, I'm one of those people looking over my shoulder everywhere I go. It just ain't never been for me. I never wanted to have to worry about where I was headed to because somebody might be looking for me. Yesterday I went to an event and I didn't know. When I pulled up, everybody there knew who I was. And I knew everybody. And dude, when you out there in them streets on a negative tip, you can't roll like that. You got to go to your car. Man, I got to put my gun in. No, man, that ain't no way to live. But so many people have been convinced that's the way that's the way of life in their circle. I don't run in them circles. And you know, it just is real hard to justify living like that, you know. And so many people, once they get out of it, they realize, man, I was tripping. I met a brother in Sacramento, ex-gangbanger, did some time, got caught up, learned trucking, took trucking up, and now he's so happy, man, he's out of that life. It's ridiculous. He got his kids. All I want to do now, man, is be a daddy and a husband and a businessman. Okay, everything else is bullshit. But it's unfortunate you got to go through all that shit to realize that. Okay, yep. And a lot of cats don't make it out complete at all. Some guys fuck theirs off in penitentiary, some in independent penitentiary. Some of them fuck theirs off and end up in the goddamn grave. And that's the part that they don't realize, that bullets and judges play for keeps. This ain't bullets and judges play for keeps.
Ooh, man. And you know what, Lonzo? Some of these crimes from this drug rich gang, I still can't believe that name, go back to 2017. So I want all these kids to listen out there right now. You think you're doing something in you probably think you did something in 2019 and got away with it. Oh, 2 years have passed. They forgot about me there and think, no, if there's one thing the feds and the police have, it's time. And they are racking crimes up. And you could give up the life. It could be 2027. Let's say you got married, you have kids, you're chilling in your house, and you get your door knocked on by the feds, and you get arrested for something you did back in 2022. Don't think just because you're sitting cool right now that they are not racking shit up. They got things going back to 2017 on these guys.
Yeah. It ain't no joke, Doc. It ain't no joke. It's just cats just don't, and because everybody, a lot of, I keep saying everybody, a lot of guys live for oohs and ahs. Oohs and ah, ooh, ah, oh, homie, you gonna let that so do that to you? And if you ever watch Goodfellas, what's his name? Not Danny DeVito. What's his name? Joe Pesci. Shoot that kid, and he shoots that guy, shoot him in the foot one week, and he fuck you. And he kills him a couple weeks later, okay? All because they at the table clowning his ass. Oh, you let the kid talk to you like that? And he kills the kid, okay? And you got guys that are reacting the same way in real life. Now, none of those guys went to jail. That kid, they ain't tell you what happened to homeboy's body. He just got shot. He died. They didn't show you the impact it had on his family, his mom, in the neighborhood. What happened to Joey? He was up there with you guys and never saw him again. Nobody went to the penitentiary. That's some bullshit, okay? That's some bullshit. But they make it seem so cavalier that it's just part of what you do, but they don't show you the backside. And they never show you the backside of this shit, Even when I watch some of these movies, yeah, they put a little pressure on people, but they always got a way to I watch Raising Kanan and BMF. There's always a backstory that gets them slide through. And I understand it's a movie, but some people don't.
That's the part. And you know what? That leads in that's funny because the STEM radio, shout out to the STEM radio. He had a comment. He says, I'm on the fence with that, meaning that it's the 90s generation fault for what these kids are doing. He says, yes, they told gangster tales, but that's all they were. Now these idiot kids brag about things they're really doing. And I agree with you to an extent, but I'm going to take myself for the matter. When I was 9, 10, 11 years old, listening to Ice Cube and MC Ren, and I thought that's what they were doing. I was like, oh my God, these guys are the biggest gangsters in the world, until obviously the internet comes out and, I meet Lonzo Williams and he tells me the truth. Go ahead.
I think that's what changed everything. Okay. Because people had a chance. Because back then, when the record came out, you had to put all the advertising on the bus benches. Okay. You bought billboards, bus benches, you had posters, blah, blah, blah. And there was no real way to vet what was being said by the artist. You just assume if he said it, it must be true. They had the look, they had the style, but nobody ever watched the evolution. And I'm using N.W.A. as an example because people just forget, and people forget. And dude, I was there from day one before it even unfolded. And this ain't no disrespect to nobody, but I just want you to understand the reality of the situation. When they first came out, they was regular dudes. Look at one of their first album covers. I mean, their first promo pictures. Dre had on some light jeans. Yella had on the little tan, Pepe Le Pew tam. Yeah, Eazy. That's how they dressed every day. They weren't the gangsters until later on. So I'm trying to understand, when did they become the bank robbers? When did you think they had time to rob banks and do all this dirty shit when they was not doing dirty shit from the very beginning? Okay, and there were people that did that kind of stuff, and I don't know them that well to say they did it. But Ice-T said he robbed jewelry stores. I'm looking at somebody talking about Ice-T right now. He robbed jewelry stores, all kind of stuff. He may have. He seemed like he may be that kind of cat. But on the same token, when you know somebody is a certain way, okay, when you know somebody, I don't know Ice-T that well. Okay, I wasn't around him when he was doing that. So, but I've watched the evolution of a certain group of people, and I'm like, no, man, that ain't. But if y'all gonna buy that, but again, because some people can't separate fantasy from reality, and that's the problem. Most people don't.
Especially 11-year-olds like me back in 1988. You know what I mean?
So when you are, you hear this, and I mean, let me tell you how stupid my ass was. Okay, as a kid, I love karate movies. I love me some that kung fu shit. I come home, man. I think you could break a board with your hand. Ain't got to train nothing. Just do it. I mean, I broke my damn hand, got a knot on my forehead trying to break a piece of plywood and a 2x4 with my fucking head, okay? Because I was that goddamn stupid because I was a gullible ass kid, okay? So imagine if somebody told me that you can run around shooting people and carry guns and shit and it's going to happen to you. I'd have been doing that. Okay, I came in the house. My mama, I got this big ass knot and a big ass cherry on my forehead. My mama said, "What happened to your head, boy?" I said, "Mom, I was trying to break a board with my head." A board? Why would you do that? Okay, and I watched it on karate, and she just shook her head. This motherfucker here, it's stupid. And this what happens when you expose kids to shit that they can't really process. Okay. You know, I did the same thing with Superfly. When I saw the Superfly album cover, I went and got my natural perm, baby. So I know I'm a direct effect of I'm a direct descendant of the effects of music and what it would do to you if you expose it to a mind that really ain't prepared to realize it's a fantasy, man. It's not what you think it is. It's just, hey, man, it's just a dude in a nice car, and he borrowed that car. That ain't his car. He probably bald-headed. Okay, but most people can't. A lot of kids can't. People think Mickey Mouse is fucking real, man. They still believe in Santa Claus, man. In my book, I said people are going to get mad at me for telling them that the Tooth Fairy ain't real and Santa Claus ain't real, but you should be mad at the motherfucker that told you they was real in the first place. Okay. You were so busy, and I had one of my guys, one of the guys in the comments, tried to, kind of piss me off because I read the comments. I don't always respond to put it in what it is, depending on what it is, and he made it seem like I was trying to do some shit. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. You don't know. You mad because I broke your heart. Okay, you got a lot of broken-hearted gangsters out there that you're broken-hearted, but your butt hurt because. Oh man, they ain't who they thought that. What? No, man. Now, some guys after the fact came through and motherfuckers was real. CMW, Chill, 8, motherfuckers was real. They wasn't playing. But again, they watched them cats and started doing what they thought they were doing. Okay? Different situation. And a lot of guys, that became the standard. After a while, it wasn't enough just to talk about it. You had to be about it.
Damn. Watt Superhero says cats went from flip shirts and roller skating to khaki suits and Dickies overnight.
Over fucking night. Thank you very much, Watt Superhero. He ain't lying. He's not lying. And this is the part that people don't understand. You just can't go from that, man. Your heart don't go that hard that fast. It takes some time to transition into being who people portray themselves to be. But a good actor can do all kinds of shit.